Hello, my friend. This is Clyde. The finer details. This is part 6 of our series on marriage counseling. We're reading from 1 Peter 3, the first 7 verses, which says, "Wives, in the same way, submit yourselves to your own husbands, so that, if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won over without words by the behavior of their wives, when they see the purity and reverence of your lives. Your beauty should not come from outward adornments such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit which is of great worth in God's sight. For this is the way the holy women of the past who put their hope in God used to adorn themselves. They submitted themselves to their own husbands, like Sarah, who obeyed Abraham and called him her Lord. You are her daughters if you do what is right and do not give way to fear. Husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker partner and as heirs with you of the gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayers." Do you realize how much the Bible talks about marriage? It seems to me that God is intentional about us having great marriages. Let's be honest with ourselves. If the manufacturer of a product not only provides you with the manual at the time of purchase, but frequently sends you additional tips, more information, how to maximize your products, ideas on how to make this product last, I know you would be impressed. Well, I'm absolutely impressed at God's heart towards marriage. It is obviously important to him. So in this, our final installment of a week-long conversation about marriage, I would like us to hear one more time what the Creator has to say to us. I believe that we can learn a few vital lessons that will add more vitality and excitement and joy to our marriages. Listen, don't pretend as if you are indifferent. Most of us who are married want it to work. We want to be the happiest married couple around, and we want to experience the fantasy of living happily ever after. And believe me, it's not a fantasy, it is possible. In fact, let us challenge ourselves to listen to God as he moves us into the place where your marriage is constantly getting better over time, much like fine wine. At least that's what I hear. I just want to zero in on 2 pieces from the text that we just read. First is a piece that speaks to the wives. Wives, not everyone will be drop-dead gorgeous all their lives, and the reality is that only one person must be convinced that you are the most beautiful woman alive, your husband. So here is your beauty treatment. Here is the secret sauce to wives. Your beauty should not come from outward adornments such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. Don't abandon the need to take care of yourself. Look good. Take care of your body. Wear nice clothes. Enjoy the jewelry your husband gives you. Do the hair thing. But listen to God as he takes you aside and gives you the most valuable beauty treatment you ever hear. Work on your inner self. Tap into your spirit. How is your temperament? Do you get angry every time something bad happens? Do you behave selfishly and mean towards your husband? Are you always stirring up an argument and complaining? God says, I don't do ugly. Instead, work at being gentle and calm. No, he is not saying you must be passive and docile. Rather, he wants you to radiate from the inside out. Let your husband experience a wife who lives from a place of peace that only God provides. Let him see you managing the demands of marriage in a way that makes him be in awe of your inner strength. Cause him to admire the amazing way you diffuse potentially ugly situations. Listen, my sister, God is looking out for you, and he wants your husband to be happy with his beautiful wife, and not the outwardly beauty that you take off at nights, but the deep inner beauty that God creates in a woman who is listening to God, her marriage coach. I can just hear your husband bragging about his wife who has a beautiful spirit, a charming attitude, and who always exudes the joy of the Lord. It doesn't get any better than this. Well, how about the husbands? He says, husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker partner and as heirs with you of the gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayers. Two powerful words. Be considerate, be respectful. That's it. It takes strength. It takes an unselfish man. It takes courage to be considerate all the time. Think about your wife not as frail, but as important, not as an object, but as a priceless gem. Always think about her first, her well-being, her safety, her happiness, her security. Be considerate. Then he wants us to respect her at all times. Listen, this is your wife's heavenly Father talking to you. He knows his daughter well, and he is saying to you, maximum respect is what she must experience. In fact, God says that if we miss the mark on these standards, then your prayers are at risk of being put on hold. My goodness. Is it that serious, God? It is that serious. Fellow husbands, it is not impossible because we have the Holy Spirit inside of us. He is our secret coach. Let us depend on him to constantly refine us into being the model husbands that our wives deserve. This too is pleasing in the sight of God. My friend, my sister, my brother, let us build strong and exciting marriages that will last, marriages that honor God.